From the News 19 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Efren Afante with the update on the tropics. First, we'll start off with Tropical Storm Dorian. As of 5 o'clock this afternoon, the National Hurricane Center indicated the wind speeds were at about 50 miles an hour, putting it as a medium size as far as intensity tropical storm. Was moving to the west-northwest at about 13 miles an hour, positioned just off to the west side of the southern Lesser Antilles Islands. But the track from the National Hurricane Center does indicate that it will probably impact, if not make landfall, in Puerto Rico sometime tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, with wind speeds of about 65 miles an hour. Then it'll continue, possibly affecting Hispaniola, eastern Hispaniola for the Dominican Republic, and then continue as a tropical storm, may weaken a little bit by Thursday evening, but then re-intensify from 65 miles an hour by Friday night to possibly up to 70, which would make it a high-end tropical storm. Category 1 hurricanes would be anything above 74 mile an hour sustained winds. Now, tropical storm warnings are in effect for the entire island of Puerto Rico and the northeastern and eastern shorelines of the Dominican Republic. The tropical storm watches are in effect for the north shores and the south shores of the Dominican Republic. It does not include Haiti on the west side of Hispaniola. Now, we are going to be tracking it as it makes its way towards the southeast coastline of the United States. Right now, the models have been going back and forth between Sunday morning and Sunday evening. The track takes it anywhere along the coastline of Florida on a 5-day track, potentially as landfall as a tropical storm. But there's still a lot of model guidance that are all over the place that have to determine what's going to happen if it makes landfall in Puerto Rico, if it goes in between Puerto Rico and Hispaniola, if it makes its way to the north. Most of the guidance models do indicate that it'll be approaching the eastern or southern areas of the Bahamas, and then from that point heading towards the United States, but in particular the Florida coastline. But these spaghetti models put it anywhere from the southern shorelines around Miami-Dade County to as far north as St. Augustine's and Jacksonville Beach, Florida. Again, this is a 5-day track. There is still a lot of uncertainty over the next 3 days of what will be happening with Tropical Storm Dorian, its direction, its intensity, and how fast it will be moving. The one thing that we know is that as Tropical Storm Dorian makes its way through, should it make it over the mountainous regions of Hispaniola, so this will be the mountain range of the Dominican Republic and the south shorelines and the mountain terrain of Haiti. It'll be a determination of if it'll make its way through, and if it does, it may tear apart with the interaction of land. The other thing is that the dry air, where currently right now, it shows a lot of dry air north of Puerto Rico, northeast of Hispaniola, but then a lot of the moisture that's already in place and the interaction of Tropical Depression number 6. So there'll be enough moisture for it to tap into as it moves into day 3 and 4 as it makes its way towards the Bahamas. The other thing that we're also watching is the jet stream, or at least the upper level winds, indicating that there's a very strong inflow of a notch that's coming out of the Caribbean Straits right up through the Dominican Republic. In this area here, not only do we have dry air, but the strong winds are forecasted to start tearing apart Tropical Storm Dorian. So this is the area where the winds will drop down to about 50 miles an hour. But notice, it's a very shallow area of strong winds. Once it gets northwest of that, the environment will give it a chance to start intensifying again. So to recap, we do have Tropical Depression 6. It'll very likely become Tropical Storm Aaron well off the coast of the Carolinas, and even as a formation by possibly Wednesday night, it'll stay out in the Atlantic. We're watching very closely Tropical Storm Dorian as it makes its way through the areas of Puerto Rico and Hispaniola. It'll be making its way by this weekend towards the southeast, and indications for right now, it could be making a potential landfall anywhere along the eastern coastline of Florida. We will be updating this. The next update will be 11 p.m. Tuesday night, and of course we'll have more information on Tropical Storm Dorian.